Welcome to the Jacksonville Momcast, a podcast dedicated to real stories for real parents. Each episode, we'll chat with local Jacksonville moms and cover topics to help you navigate mom life on the First Coast. Thanks for joining us as we tackle all things motherhood and more with a focus on the 904. Welcome to episode 9 of Jacksonville Momcast. Today, our guest is Amber Fuchs, a Jacksonville mom and the owner of YOLO Luxury Consignment. In this episode, Amber talks with us about what made her decide to launch YOLO and what it's been like running a business during a pandemic. We'll also chat about why it's important to shop local this holiday season, and she has some great suggestions, including some no-cost options, for ways you can support businesses in our Jacksonville community. Thanks for listening.
Today we're welcoming Amber Fuchs. Amber, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So a little bit about me. I've been here in Florida in Jacksonville for about 3 to 4 years. I think I'm coming up on 4 years here soon. Love the area. Left the DC area to move down here. So it's a great change of pace for me and my family. So I'm here with my husband. I have a 2-year-old daughter as well. We have 3 dogs also. So we stay pretty busy between all of our fur babies and real babies. And I like to stay active in the community. Pre-COVID, I love to run races, and I'm really missing that right now. And I, especially in the Jacksonville area, I would try to participate as much as I could. But I also am a volunteer for the Beaches Sea Turtle Patrol, and I love that. So just try to find different ways to stay active in the community as well.
That's great. And so you own YOLO Luxury Consignment. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about YOLO and about how it kind of came to be?
Oh, absolutely. So YOLO Luxury Consignment is my company, and we offer authentic, pre-owned, high-end accessories, great brands that you might have heard of, such as Louis Vuitton, Kate Spade, Coach. There's just a few of the examples of what we have on the website currently. Because they're consignment, they're always at really great values, and that's something that's really important to us. About how we came to be, in my past, I've been corporate buyer for different organizations, and along the way, I was a buyer for handbags, and that's when I really fell in love with handbags. And I will always remember, actually when I turned 30, on my 30th birthday, my parents gave me my first Coach bag, and it made me feel like I was ready to take on the world. Like it really moved me to such an emotional place, and it motivated me so much. Like I felt like I was official. I was like, now I'm here. I can go do anything. And so that feeling and really being able to take that moment of gaining something that makes you feel like you can take on the world is what drove me to want to open this business. I want to give other people access to something that they feel like maybe they didn't have access to before. And I love handbags. So to me, it's like the perfect combination of the two. And something else that I'm very passionate about is sustainable fashion. And so working through consignment is a great way to achieve that as well. So for me, this business is like the combination of so many things that have been important to me along my life, and I want to be able to share with other people.
And how great that you could make something that you're so passionate about part of your life.
Oh my gosh, I feel so lucky.
That's just so fantastic. And so how does YOLO work? Walk us through if I'm somebody who has an item that I want to consign, or as a shopper.
Sure, certainly. So we have a few different ways you can find us. Absolutely, our primary way you can get to us is online at www.yololuxuryconsignment.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The handles for both of those are also YOLO Luxury Consignment. So you can shop all three places. So if you want to shop with us, it's very easy. Go to our website or find us on those social media platforms. And something else that we offer that I felt was really important straight out of the gate is we offer a third-party payment plan. So if you see something that you feel like is really going to impact you and really going to help you in a good way in your life, you can use the payment plan option, which is Sezzle. It's a third party. And it's great because you go and register with them. It is subject to their approval, but once you get their approval, you can buy the item on the same day and pay for it later over 4 payment installments. So that was something that we felt was really important to include straight out of the gate, because this is all about giving people access to something that they feel is really important or valuable in their life.
So talk to us a little bit about how, if I'm looking to consign an item, if I have something I've used, I've loved, and now I'm, like you said, I want to kind of give it new life to somebody else. What's the process there?
Sure, absolutely. So we try to keep the process as simple as possible. It's a true consignment forum. And so for people who have consigned before, they'll really understand what that means. For people who haven't, what that means is that you reach out to us, and because of what we offer, we will work with you to pre-approve items in advance to ensure that we're on the same page about how we're going to move forward. And so that's pretty simple. You can contact us via email, which is just info at YOLOLuxuryConsignment.com. We also have a contact page right on the website, so you can go directly through the website. And of course, you could message us. Actually, most of the contacts that I do receive for consignment are via Facebook Messenger, and that's great as well. And so in that way, you can let me know what you're looking to consign, and you can just send over pictures really easily via any of those platforms, and we can talk about whether it's pre-approved or not. Here in the local Jacksonville area, I will come, or I'll have someone come pick up those items for free, no problem. And then we list them on the website. And so you get to utilize all of the marketing tools and platform that we have available to access and sell that to our customer base.
That's great. What a cool service to have right here in Jacksonville, available for, anybody who's looking to sell some of those items. So from a sustainability standpoint, why is shopping pre-owned merchandise important?
So the fashion industry is an industry that creates a tremendous amount of waste, unfortunately. So the wonderful benefit about shopping pre-owned, and especially via consignment, is that you are supporting keeping fashion in circulation. So instead of making a new good, that means an existing good is going to end up in a landfill somewhere, you're purchasing an item and keeping the life of it going. And so to that end, it's almost like pre-owned goods are part of a greater purpose of recycle material that helps with sustainability in the fashion industry. So it's really critical, because I think fast fashion, which is so popular and easy, is really what drives us to so much of landfill. So pre-owned goods really helps eliminate that. And something else that's really great about luxury high-end consignment is that these items that you're purchasing as pre-owned are actually investment piece. And so you may buy it as a pre-owned good, but you also would be able to come back to me at YOLO when you're ready to move on and still get a really great value for it as it's going forward. So you can continue the cycle of the sustainability when you're working with luxury high-end items, because they hold their value so well, it really becomes like a true investment piece.
And the quality of a lot of those items is so high that you can use it for a year or two, and then it shows very little wear. And like you said, you can almost recoup a lot of your investment.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how things are going now with COVID, quarantine. Now, your situation's a little different because you're primarily online. So, how has your business been affected by what's been going on in the world the last couple months?
So it's been an interesting shift. So I will tell you that my original business plan was not to be exclusively online. So this is like one of the main things that I see how businesses are adjusting to COVID is they're shifting their business plan, right? Like you have to just kind of roll with what the customer needs right now. And I think what the customer needs mostly is a way to proceed with their purchases without having to required to be in person. So that's something that I have been able to accommodate. But certainly I'll say at the beginning of COVID, business definitely slowed down. But then I'll say that, since then I updated my website, I expanded my social media presence. And since then, my business has picked back up. And I think that is because hopefully I'm addressing what the customer needs and is looking for in that regard. So I think it's a tricky time. It's a tricky time, and not everybody has the capability to shift their business model. So, I think it's important to support, your local businesses how you can.
Absolutely. It's so important. And so talking about some of those local businesses, since you are a Jacksonville mom, what are some other things you've seen in our community as far as, how businesses are attempting to adapt to what's been going on?
Well, I think that the biggest thing people are doing is shifting their business online as much as possible. You'll see people talking about pivoting, pivot, adjusting what they can do in that regard. For me, even some of what I have done in that way, beyond some of the things I already mentioned, is really focusing on contactless anything, contactless shipping, contactless pickup, contactless delivery, because I think that is, you have to respect everybody's going to have a different level of comfort, and contactless is a big way that businesses can adjust to accommodate for that. Obviously, also incorporating social distancing whenever necessary and possible, moving to virtual meetings. Like, even what we're doing now is like the one big thing that I've seen. I've gotten super familiar with Zoom, team meetings, all of the different video conferencing formatting.
It's funny. I was going to say, as when we started this in March, we had intended to be in person. I own very nice microphones, and which we've never used. And the first couple podcast recordings were hard because it was so new in March and April, and everybody was just like learning the technology. Mm-hmm. And now it's so it's just easy. It's almost easier than being in person because everybody is so familiar with it. So it's been interesting to see, on a personal, on a business, from an educational standpoint, everybody just kind of, like you said, pivoting to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some things as consumers that people can do to help support our favorite local businesses, especially with the holidays upon us and prime shopping season? What are just some things we can do to help support, especially in our Jacksonville community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the easiest and cost-free things that you can do to support local businesses is find out if they're online, where they're online, and if they are, like, follow, comment, share consistently. Because those things really help, all of the different platforms, whether it be social media, different platforms, or online with search engine optimization or anything else, they all have their algorithms. And so doing those things even once is fabulous, but if you can do them with consistency, that is wonderful as well. And if your favorite local stores don't have that online presence, I think the most important thing then is to just talk to other people about your favorite stores, because that's also another way of, it's a social interaction algorithm, right? Like most people, unfortunately, share some of their negative experiences more often than not. So sharing your positive experiences can be just as popular if you just, take the time to make sure you're sharing those.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing you can do to support your local businesses is shop.
So important. And as a local business owner, talk to us a little bit about how important that is when people make the conscious choice to buy from a Jacksonville business versus ordering online from a big box retailer.
Right, absolutely. It's interesting timing when we're having this conversation, leading up to the holidays and talking about Amazon Prime Days and things like that. I have seen dips in my business when big box companies do these type of promotions. So, I think one of the most critical things about shopping local is that you're helping to keep your neighbor and your local community businesses alive, and that's probably the most critical thing. Is it's probably harder to compete with these big companies than people realize. But, the depth of what it really does is you're reinvesting in your community. The dollars that you put into your local community, into your local businesses, go back into the local community. And it's kind of a circular effect, which is fabulous. And there's also the deeper level of, investing in local businesses also means that those tax dollars are going back into your local area as well. So, in that way, you're supporting your, local police force or firemen's or, anything where our local tax dollars are being spent. That's coming out of shopping local as well. So there's a lot of different benefits.
Absolutely. And I think about when you drive past a school and they have the banners on the fence for the businesses that have supported them, you don't see Amazon on the fence at the school. You see the mom and pop stores that are on the corner, that are, in your community, that those are the people that support us, and we need to make an effort to support them, especially now.
Absolutely.
So other than YOLO, what are some of your favorite shops in town or makers, or where are you doing your holiday shopping this year?
Absolutely. Well, I am from the beaches area, so I love some of my local beaches shops. But to start, first and foremost, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my husband has a local business. He is the managing director for a local financial advisory firm called Sage Path. And he is a great resource to me and many other local people in the area. So Sage Path Financial Advisors, my husband is Jason Fuchs. But I always spend a lot of time down at the corner in the Beaches Town Center. I inevitably end up at Southern Grounds. That's one of my very favorite local businesses. And then right across the aisle from there is Red Daisy. I feel like they have everything under the sun as far as gift giving goes. If I need something, I go there. But then also, if for some reason I can't find whatever I'm looking for at Red Daisy, I'll also go to a store that's right next to the Metro Diner on A1A called One of Everything. They literally have one of everything. So that's a fabulous local business that I frequent pretty often. And then another favorite local maker that I have is called Blue Door Bodega. That is run by a former coworker of mine who started this business, and they specialize in pet accessories, particularly pet bandanas that are customized. So if you have a favorite team or a favorite print, you can get your favorite print with your pet's name customized on it, or your team name. And then more recently, also because of COVID, and speaking of pivoting, they have started making face masks. So they're, a really great resource that's local right here in the area, and they do a fabulous job.
That's a great list. A couple of those I've heard of, but I had never heard of One of Everything. We'll have to look those up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're going to love it. So I actually found them probably 2 years ago now because I was looking for some hurricane crosses when I had some family members move down to the area. And, have to give someone from out of state moving into the area, they have to have their hurricane cross. They always have them.
That's so interesting. Well, we'll put a link to all those shops in our show notes. So if anybody wants to check them out, they can also enjoy some of your favorite local shops. So tell us, will YOLO be having any holiday sales or any other holiday shopping tips from you?
Yes, absolutely. So something that is a huge benefit I definitely want to mention is that we always offer free local shipping. So that is a huge benefit to the Jacksonville area, and that's not just for the holidays, that's all year round. For the holiday season, we will be offering for a limited time gift wrapping. So we'll be launching that on the website soon. So that will be a great benefit. So when you're checking out the site, you can think of your gift giving as well as, if you need a gift for yourself, that's okay too. And then we will be having some special flash deals. I have some bundled items that I'm going to be offering when you purchase together. You can get a deeper discount on those items. And they're all going to be like a special flash last minute deal. So the best way to make sure that you're informed about that is to definitely be on our social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram will always post the best flash deals in the stories of either Instagram or Facebook. But if you're not a social media person, you can also just go to our website and sign up for our newsletter, and we'll send out those last minute deals via the newsletter as well.
Perfect. Anything else you want to add before we go?
I think that though this is like such a great podcast that you've started, and I feel so honored that you asked me to come on and participate. And I think that it's really great to have this Jacksonville mom group where we can all, support each other.
Absolutely. It's so important.
That's it for today. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Jacksonville Momcast. For more information about what you've just heard, check out our show notes and find us on Instagram at Jacksonville Momcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and know someone who should tune in, please subscribe and share it. We look forward to you joining us on our next episode of Jacksonville Momcast.